Yo, what's good guys, I'm on fire here back with another video, and today we're going to be bringing you guys my Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensive ebook in Madden 22. It's probably the most popular defense in the game, and we're going to show you guys a couple of plays out of probably three formations, the big three formations that you need to know. There are a couple of other formations in this playbook, like 3-3-5 will or double A gap that are decent, but we're only showing you the best of the best here. And I think this will be very helpful to those struggling on defense. It'll give you a variety of plays to run, multiple blitzes, multiple coverages, and overall should be very helpful. Now, the main three formations that we're talking about are going to be the nickel 3-3-5 wide, the nickel 2-4-5 odd, and the dime 2-3-6 will. Those are going to be your big three defensive formations. We're going to show blitzes out of all three as well as coverages out of all three. Now, I'm just going to start out in the nickel 2-4-5 odd. Just because. Now, I'm going to show one blitz out of this and two coverages. The plays we're going to run are going to be start out with pinch 2 on the left there. I'm also going to go over the cover 6 on the right and cover 4 drop here on the left. So let's go ahead and jump into pinch 2. Now, of course, zone drops might change. I will try and let you know what I like to run for zone drops. For now, we're going to run these stock. But for this setup, what you want to do is go ahead, base align your defense. You're going to press your defense. And then what I like to do for this play is I'm going to throw this player right here, generally in a little curl flat zone. And then we'll put Lavonte David as our user. So we'll just stand here in the gap. Now, for this first setup, I'm out of pinch 2. We're just going to leave everybody in their spot. We're not going to hover anywhere. We're just going to kind of stand here, let the ball be snapped. And there you see slot corner right off the, not slot corner, linebacker. Now, usually you should just get one guy free. There's situations where you can actually get two guys free off the edge. But again, 5-man rush against 5-man protection. And you notice that the running back's on a little check and release here, so you could even maybe say 6-man protection. But yeah, super fast pressure. Personnel-wise for this, what I would do is put my fastest linebacker here on the outside. That's why we got Devin White there. If you want safeties at linebackers, you can do that. We got Sherman over there at safety. On the left spot, I just kept David because he's a really good linebacker. But you see here, again, I'm not even controlling Lavonte David. I kind of let him play out his vert hook assignment until he's like 5 yards back, and then we kind of go back. But yeah, your overall back, quick enough to use her, and you see Devin White over here is coming through untouched very nicely. Now, a couple of factors go into this left side. Sometimes he gets free, sometimes he doesn't. It's kind of hit or miss with that slot cornerback, I'll be honest, but yeah, man, overall good. Now, if I were to run the coverage like this, probably what I'm going to do is set my cloud flats a little bit lower to maybe like 5 yards, something like that. And we're just going to let Sherman go in the deeper zone. And then, of course, my assignment's going to be kind of to watch deep on that right side if this were, again, the verticals play. So we're going to go ahead and snap that ball. Here you see, again, if the running back's blocked, generally he's going to pick it up. He's in that check and release. That time he did pick up the block. You notice how on the first one he did not. So it kind of just varies, I would say. Again, if you wanted to, you could just run this play stock, set your clouds to default or whatever you want. And the blitz should get free as it did right there. Pretty simple stuff. But yeah, man, there's not a whole lot to this. As far as some blitz setups that you used to see, you sometimes would see people kind of like stand right here with their user. I don't really think that does much personally, but again, it has a chance to bring in an extra guy if you wanted to do that. You noticed we were able to get Murphy bunting off the edge right there. And again, we're not crashing, we're not doing anything. All we're doing is baseline pressing. So again, if you want the chance to get someone else free, you kind of hover over here on the right, ball is snapped, you move over this side. And it doesn't work every single time. You see that time the slot corner did get picked up, but it seems to open him up a little bit more and potentially cause the offensive lineman to shift. So we'll show it one more time. And again, with X, you can throw him in like a middle third. You can do whatever, but you can kind of stand here, hover around, and here you see we get both free. Now, Devin White did take a deeper angle there. Not sure the reasoning behind that, but again, it happens. So here you see he takes kind of a wide angle, but you notice how we actually got 3 people free dang near with Sue. Maybe if Sue's faster, he gets free there, but 5-man protection, you rush 5, you get 2 free. So 2-4-5 odd, still one of the best blitzing formations in the game. It's not as popular, but it still is really, really good. But let's go ahead and hop into our cover 6 now. All right, our next play is going to be cover 6. Now, you notice right off the bat with this cover 6 that it's not going to be the same look. You notice how the linebackers are off the ball, so what you have to do to get them on the ball is just base a line. That's going to get them there. And again, I like to press. We want all of our plays to get the same look, whether we're blitzing or not. And this cover 6 will now look exactly like the pinch 2 play. Now, again, you can stand here with your user just to add the illusion that you're blitzing. But generally, you're not blitzing. Now, what I like to do for this play is either run it stock. It's going to be a good play stock. Now, make sure that you also run your cover 2 on the wide side of the field. You don't want to be getting deep on that outside, but you can just kind of snap the ball here, user this vert hook, and really, you actually can get pressure there. I'm not sure if we got a little disengaged there. I wasn't watching, but maybe we actually did get pressure there. Let's take a look. We actually did. So I guess this does kind of work as a blitz with 4 people. Which I should have mentioned out of the pinch too. You can get pressure rushing 4. I don't recommend it because I like to get at least rush 5 on that play. But we actually got pressure on this cover 6. Here you see we don't get pressure, which is kind of standard. But overall, everything is defended well. Now there are a couple of gaps in the defense. And generally what I like to use for this play is actually going to be Richard Sherman. So I like to use a Richard Sherman. I like to throw Ndamukong Suh in either a vert hook. And maybe you can either use a Sherman or Levante David. I think I actually confused myself there, but I think I used David, I want to say. But yeah, man, overall, you can kind of read it. You have that right side to yourself. The vert hook's just going to help out a little bit in case someone beats the match coverage, which is kind of like a man coverage. But yeah, man, I don't have too much to this setup. If you wanted to, maybe you could like throw B over here on a vert hook. I would be fine doing that. Just rush your 3 down linemen. And then we're going to probably use her over here on the left, but in that case, it's difficult because your user goes from them all the way on the right, and you have to use something on the left, so it's not as efficient. Make sure you get some athletic DN so you're able to put them in coverage if need be. But let's hop into our next play, cover 4 drop. All right, our last play is going to be cover 4 drop, and this is not a match cover 4. You notice how we have curl flats instead of quarter flats. That's important to notice. This is a play where you notice that the linebackers are on the line stock, so you wouldn't necessarily have to baseline if you didn't want to, but I like to baseline anyway. For this play, I like to do a simple type setup usually, and what I like to do is go ahead, put X on a clad flat, and we're going to put L1 on a deep half. You can either do that, or what you can do is do that on the short side of the field. I like to do it on the wide side, but because I like having that clad flat out there, and this would be a good situation where you adjust your zone drop, set your curl flats to probably like 5 yards, set those clad flats to around 20, and again, your assignment's probably going to be deep on that right side. So for this verticals play, what are we watching? We're going to watch Samuel there. So Curtis Samuel's going to be our guy. We go ahead, work over there because we don't have a deep zone, but and again, you can adjust different things. You notice how Richard Sherman in his hook curl isn't really taking away that wheel route. If that's an issue, we can man him up if need be. But again, ideally what we're doing here, and if you wanted to, what you could actually do out of this, you could actually maybe blitz Devin White, clad flat, deep half, and then what you do is just kind of play this curl flat assignment. So and we'll just man up Logan Thomas here. But if they were to go to a setup like this, that might be where you get trouble because you have to kind of lurk over on the wheel route, go back. But you notice how, again, you can get pressure out of cover 4 drop. It's really easy to get pressure out of this. Even there, we weren't hovering, and we still get pressure. So that's why it's important to have a fast rush over there because you still can get these really good animations, especially with Shaq Barrett doing a nice job there of picking up the right tackle, allowing us to loop around. And again, everything else defended well. Really forcing him to throw the ball quickly. And again, the pressure is not going to work every time when you're rushing 4 players, but it definitely can get through situationally. So I'm not going to say it never works. There you see it again works. So you can really blitz out of all 3 plays. I would say cover 6 is the worst play to blitz out of probably, but this and pinch 2 are probably good. Pinch 2 being the best, of course. But yeah, man, as far as that goes, I don't have too many other setups. If you wanted, you could, of course, just run this play stock if need be. Just run it stock with the curl flat over there, and you might have decent defense. The quarters will do a decent job. You can set your zone drops accordingly because, again, the curl flats will just play stock, so you can put them how deep and how shallow if you want. If you wanted to, you could go ahead, a little double Mabel action, and then we're going to, again, for this, I'm probably setting my flats deeper, curl flats shorter, because what I like to do with my responsibility is play deeper rather than shorter. That's me personally. You can really set whatever. Now, 3-man rush usually is going to be a little bit better than this. I'm not sure why we're getting so stonewalled, but generally you can generate a good amount of pressure with 3 people. If not, you can rush that fourth guy, try and get the pressure. If not, you'll get quicker sheds anyway. Or I think if you blitz your user, generally the 3-man rush does work a little bit better. Quick tip right there. All right, and that's going to take us into our next formation. We're going to go straight into the nickel 3-3-5 wide. Make sure you stay tuned for that 2-3-6 will, because that's what I like to run the most probably. But we got 3-3-5 wide with this. It is unfortunate you will not be able to do the audible trick to get safeties at your outside linebacker positions, but you can definitely go ahead and get a safety here. So we'll throw Richard in that spot. Let's go Levante over here. Devin White over here, and then we'll get Shaq Barrett at the end, and we should be good to go from there. So we're going to go over, I think, 2 plays in this, maybe 3 actually, if you want to throw in that run defense, which I might do, because we do want some run defense in this. But we're going to start out with the Mike Blitz 3, go into the cover 4, drop show 2, and then I might go down with some 2-man under, because we do want a little bit of man coverage. But let's start out with the Mike Blitz 3. All right, now with Mike Blitz 3, we're going to go ahead, you guessed it, baseline. I like to baseline press. Again, you can baseline, but you can also set your auto limit for base for all of these blitzes except for one out of the 2-3-6 will if you wanted to. But we're going to baseline press. What I like to do is go ahead, shift my D-line, or spread my D-line, and then you can actually slant either outside or slant inside. I don't think it really matters for this blitz. But all you're going to do for the blitz is really just stand here with your user, and then when the ball is snapped, I like to kind of shift over to either the left or the right. I think usually I go with the left, so kind of shift over here, and there you see quick pressure. Now, ironically, the pressure that I usually struggle against the most is this 3-3-5 wide, just because of how good it is. It's just super balanced, and ultimately just usually forces me to block my running back. It's really good against bunch. You notice it right there, even though we're getting that linebacker free off of the tight end side. A lot of times you see the tight end bump him. For whatever reason, this blitz seems to be kind of excluded from that. And you notice here, just quick pressure, he doesn't get bumped, and overall the blitz does its job. Rushing 5, everything else seems to be defended pretty well in this scenario. And again, with your user, you do have to hover, so try and hover, get back as quickly as possible. I would kind of be able to stop right about here and user up, so I could take away streaks or crossers or any route going to the middle of the field, really. But again, baseline press, shift your D-line up, and then again, for that one, I slanted outside. You could slant inside as well, if I'm not mistaken. But basic stuff. You can set your zone drops to something. If you know he's going to be looking for a quick read, you can set those curl flats to 5 and hope that the pressure gets through. But again, kind of hover over here. And it's not going to work every time. The scenarios where it doesn't work, sadly, are usually the ones where the linebacker's going to get bumped by the tight ends. If you notice that happening, what you can do is I think you might be able to just run it from the other side. Don't quote me on this, but we'll kind of try it out here, see if we can get trying to intend some pressure off that right side. It doesn't seem to work as well. Now, bunch is going to be the best formation to stopping this 3-3-5 wide, probably by far, just because of forcing Devin White to really get bumped over there. It's definitely going to be the key to really stopping the blitz if you did want to run it with 5 people or whatever. But we'll go ahead, kind of hover over here, and there you see it working again. Not sure why Devin White dove for the legs there, but I have no idea what happened there. But you see the blitz worked well. And again, Devin White, he did get bumped a little bit this time. Thankfully, we're still able to get the pressure. Not sure why he fell, but again, you see the pressure did get through eventually. So, and you're only rushing 5. 3-3-5 wide is not going to be intended necessarily just for the pressure. So that's not really the reason you're running it for. You're running it for balance, stopping the run and the pass. 2-4-5 odd and 2-3-6 will are going to be significantly worse at stopping the run than 3-3-5 wide. So you have to give up something to get something in return. We're giving up a little bit of our blitzing power to give us some better run defense. So you have to give up something to get something. Of course, the blitz is not going to be as good as some of the other ones that we'll show. Now let's try slanting inside. I'm not sure if this will make a difference, but we're going to kind of lab on the fly here, see if we can get it to work. And we did get bumped there, but again, you see the blitz works. Slanting inside, slanting outside really does not matter. Now, we showed the blitz setup. Let's get into some bluff blitz with this Mike Blitz 3. And immediately what you can do is just either go with like a double Mabel. We can go ahead and man up one of these guys on the slot receiver. We can man up the tight end. We can go ahead and man up the running back over here. I like to, if I'm running this bluff blitz, I usually just full send 2-man rush. We're not going to 3-man rush. We're just going to go 2-man rush here. leave this 3-receiver hook, get some athletic D ends, and Ndamukong Suh's not ideal in this scenario, but usually we'll just full send, go with this, we'll kind of bag X, and now you see coverage is going to be good. Now you're not going to necessarily get sheds. You should usually get better sheds than this. I'm not sure how. Who's that? Vita Vea. Holy crap. He's getting stonewalled by some not so good offensive linemen, I think, over there. But the sheds will get through. It's not like you're rushing 1. Eventually you get pressure. But, and again, rushing 3 just does not make too big much of a difference for me to give that up, in my opinion. So we can go with like a vert hook over here, man someone up over there. But again, you rush 2. You're not expecting quick sheds. Now, normally you can split double teams, especially if they don't have post up. You'll see a lot of split double team animations. Get guys like Aaron Donald, Micah Parsons, CJ Watt in there. Holy crap, Fitzpatrick just shrugged off a 350-pound nose tackle like it was nothing. But generally you'll get some really good splitting double team animations, and you can actually shed people really quick. Escape artist is tricky to deal with in general, so if they have escape artist, it's going to be nothing new. But yeah, man, that's what you can do. And again, the last thing with this Mike Blitz 3 is like double Mabel if you wanted to. So you can go with a double Mabel look, leave that 3-rec hook, and again, you can force them to like force something down the field. A lot of times I notice when you actually give people time, I seem to force more interceptions when people have so much time in the pocket. It just seems like they make a mistake, they overthink it. Try to find someone open, and you can either lurk them or force something into coverage. But let's hop into our next play, cover 4 drop show 2. Next play is cover 4 drop show 2. Got a couple of setups for this that I like. The first one being the same thing that you saw out of odd rather. Cloud flat over here. You can also go soft squat if you were running it stock. I might like soft squat a little bit better. I'll soft squat and then I'll vert hook over here. So this guy's on a vert hook, soft squat, boom, boom. So instead of a hook curl, you have a vert hook, which is going to be a lot better against bunch specifically. Vert hooks will take those tight end wheels away for the most part. And again, I'm still going to give them the same look. We're going to baseline press. We're going to shift the D-line. We're going to hover right about here. Looks like we're blitzing. We're not. But yeah, man, just give them the same look every single time no matter what. And then, of course, we're not going to get as good pressure, but overall, just a good setup. And again, you can adjust those zone drops, cloud flats at whatever you want, really. Again, for this one, ideally, we're setting our curl flats probably a little bit lower. Now, this one's different because you do have quarter flats, so I'm probably not using zone drops on this one because those quarter flats do have the option to match a little bit more. So I'm probably running these guys stock for the most part. You see the quarter flats will match. Now, again, watch that sideline. If you feel uncomfortable kind of doing something like that, now I do think you should be able to adjust your flats without the quarter flats changing match. So if I want to set my flats to like 20, 25, I think I can still run that with the quarter flats playing their match assignments. If not, we can actually run this on the short side if you really wanted to. So you could actually go short side. You can still vert hook over here. And it would work like that. But again, I like to do it for the bunch side because that's normally where the offense works from. But you see now the coverage seems to be a little bit more baggy. And we're able to get the interception. So overall, those are really the two setups I'll do with that. And again, I have separate videos on all of these if you want to see more. I don't usually blitz out of this formation, or this play rather. We'll try it out here, see if it works. I don't expect it to, and it doesn't really work. It's kind of weird blitzing angles, players in different spots, so I'll generally stay away from blitzing out of any other play in the wide formation besides Mike Blitz 3. Alright, here we're going to go over some basic run defense / man coverage stuff. Now, what I like to do with man coverage is if I know he's running the ball, I like to go to 2-man under just by both my safeties if I can. Now, you do run into a potential little bit of trouble. Your users on the running back, if they pass, you have to recognize that. So I like to man up this extra linebacker that's in a blitz onto the running back so I don't have to worry about that. And I can just user, if it's a passing play, I can take away the deep route if it gets open. So, but if they do run like an inside zone here, you will notice that it's going to be really good pursuits of the ball. Should take away most of the stuff. Again, players get really impatient in the game, so if they're picking up 3 yards every run, generally you won't see them sit there take the 3 yards every single time unless they're a really good player who is able to stay true to their game plan. But a lot of times if people are getting 3 yards a run, they're looking at that as a loss and they will probably just not stop running the ball, ironically enough. Now, as far as gap shooting is not probably the best out of this formation. you can shoot the gap. It is a little bit tough depending on formation to formation. You can sometimes shoot it like that. We missed the hit stick, but generally you can kind of manipulate it by like shifting your D-line to the right, slanting it to the left, kind of standing over here on the left. We'll run that dive again, and this is going to be only really never work against I-form. Anything else this should work against, and inside zone as well. So there you see we shoot the gap. Now Sherman, no hit power, but we shifted to the right, slanted to the left, and then we're able to stand over to the left to shoot that gap. Show it one more time. And again, you can also pinch your linebackers for this, but we're going to man up X on Y. We can, and if I only wanted to spy one of these guys, I definitely could do that. So we could throw L1 here in an inside third, and we can spy A. This is going to be better because normally man coverage, what do people do? Deep posts. Now this is going to be taken away, and your run defense still will be good with one safety, just a little bit worse. That's going to take us to our last and final formation of the ebook. It's going to be Dime 236 Will. We're going to show 2 plays out of this, DB Fire 2, as well as the Edge Blitz 3 play. There's some other good stuff like Cover 4 Drop, but it's going to be very similar to the 2-4-5 odds, so not really a reason to show it. But we're going to start out with this Edge Blitz 3 play. And with Edge Blitz 3, what you are looking for usually is just going to be easy, quick pressure that you can get. So we're going to come out in Z-spot and go. And all you're going to do here is go ahead. Actually, this is the exclusive play where we're not going to go ahead baseline our defense. We're just going to press. And what I like to do, you don't even have to press if you don't want to, but I like to just throw this Ross Cockrell. You can put him in whatever you want. You don't want him blitzing, though. You can man him up. I'll go vert hook here, but all you're going to do is get him out of there. Go ahead, contain. And then you notice how the linebacker, Levante David, is in containment. That's what you want. You're going to go ahead, stand right about here with your user. Same look as 335 wide exactly. And then when the ball is snapped, hover over to the left slightly, and you will see a disengage that usually is able to force Shaq Barrett over there to get free after the QB. So we're going to stand here, ball is snapped, hover over here. We get a quick shed, and you notice how Devin White's going to loop around. Shaq Barrett's going to disengage up the middle. 2 people free, rush 4 against 5. We get 2 free. And this is a blitz that was used in that Madden Bowl tournament. I've faced this. It's super frustrating, super annoying because you can't do anything really. Now, the normal for this blitz is not when Devin White loops. Usually you will just see the disengage, but this is a perfect scenario where you actually get both. They actually get there at the same time, so again, nothing really changes. If Devin White's the only one to get free, it's still the same time as if Shaq Barrett's the only one to get free. So get a fast D end. You can get a faster linebacker there if you want. I probably should have put Devin White there instead of Levante David, but it is what it is. And if you want, you can put safeties there. I usually will have a linebacker blitzing. Someone with like high pursuit I think helps. But just very good blitz. Rush 4, they blocked 5, and you get the pressure. So again, all we did is you can press. You don't have to press. Go ahead, vert hook, contain, and then just stand right about here with your user. You notice how the disengage kind of happened a little bit later. It's where you think it might not work. And here you see it didn't work. It's not going to work every time. You rush 4 against 5. You can't necessarily expect pressure every time. It did work, I think, almost every single time when I posted my video on it, actually. And I do have a separate video on this as well for some coverage stuff, coverage adjustments that you can check out. We're mainly focusing on the blitz here, but just some extra stuff. And here you see again, this is a scenario that you usually see where Shaq Barrett gets free, Levante David actually turns into contain. So you notice, of course, Levante David isn't contained. This is also a good formation to stop QB scrambles. So if they see Shaq Barrett, he disengages. I do not want to get sacked. What are they going to scramble? They're going to scramble to the right because everyone uses a right-handed QB. And you have a kind of a delayed contain. Those are better because he's not going to get stonewalled as easily. So he can't scramble up the middle. You have a D end. He can't scramble to the right or the left because you have 2 contains. So one of the best QB contained defenses as well. Probably why I like it a little bit better over 2-4-5 odd because you actually have a blitz where you are containing. Now again, you can press, vert hook, contain. It's a very simple blitz. You're not doing too many crazy adjustments. And overall, it gets the job done very, very well. You see, it's just super difficult to get rid of the ball as well. You have to make very quick reads. And if you're able to adjust well enough on the back end, you catch on to some of his tendencies. Maybe you man up a running back, watch the middle with your guy, hard flat, set your flats to 5 yards. Just catch on to something. You're going to have him either throw a pick or he's going to take a lot of sacks throughout the game. So Very, very good. It's super nice to only be able to rush 4 people and get pressure. If they do block the running back, I think it does affect the blitz. You can't really get mad at that as well. You see he does get free, but the running back's obviously going to do its job, either chop him. He did a terrible job there, but normally he's going to be able to pick him up. Now, and again, you can see this clearly works because we do have a star right guard over there, so kind of proves that it would work against really any offensive lineman. Again, kind of hover over here. We force the disengage, and again, that's all you ask for. Certain situations, again, rare, where Levante David loops around and Shaq Barrett doesn't get free, but normally Shaq Barrett's getting through almost every single time unless you create some kind of a user error with your hovering system. But yeah, if you want to see more coverage adjustments behind that, check out that other video I did. Just some basic ideas that you can do. Maybe I'll show one. Just because if you stay this long, you deserve to get an extra setup, I would say. But you can create a little cover 2 cloud over here. Man up the running back, cover 2 over there, and then if you wanted to, you could go ahead, put A in the inside third and put RB in the curl flat. So this would be a very good defense in my opinion. Definitely catch him off guard and takes away really a lot of the quick read stuff. Snap the ball, boom, we get the disengage. We're watching the middle with our guy, really force him to throw like a flat. And if he's throwing flats all day, set your zone drops to like 5, and he will not be throwing flats anymore. So let's go hop into our last play, DB Fire 2. Last play is going to be DB Fire 2. You're going to go ahead baseline press. And for this one, you're just going to stand over the nose tackle. Pretty simple. Stand there for a little bit. And then when all is said and done, you should get that slot corner off the edge free. Get some faster slot corners. I do like this blitz better out of dollar, I'll be honest. But again, the rest of the playbook does make up for it. I like it better out of dollar. I think it comes through better, more consistently. But it should not be affected with whatever your 236 will should still get free. Realistically, here you see we get pressure. Ideally, you can get pressure from both sides if it works perfectly. If not, you're getting pressure from one side. That's still good. And it's a nice mix-up because edge blitz is going to be a disengaged blitz. Now you get double slot pressure. This is also good to contain because you really force them to either scramble up the middle. They can't really scramble out because they do have 2 slot corners. Now you're not containing, but usually the blocking will not hold up that well when you're rushing 5. So again, you can stand here, quick pressure. Usually it's the guy off the running back side because again, we mentioned how those wide receiver bumps affect blitzes when we ran the 2-4-5 odd, I believe, or the 3-5 wide rather. But again, this works a lot better out of something that's not gun bunch. We're showing it against gun bunch because it's the best blitz blocking formation in the game. So there will be certain runs that you do or plays that are called that you just can't seem to do it. And again, play action is one of them. Play action is very, very good at stopping blitzes. So things like P boot over, that's why you see it called so much. But overall, very good pressure. You would usually get 2 guys free. Carlton Davis over there is just getting bumped. Maybe if we audible to something, I don't know, spread. See if this affects it. I can't even put RB on a hot route because my stupid controller is broken, so we'll just run it like this. My second controller is broken, so that's fantastic. We kind of stand here. We force a disengage, which can also happen. Out of any blitz, you can really force disengages. Now, as far as coverage adjustments behind this, you're limited. You have a cover 2 shell. You can shade over the top. If you want to protect the middle of the field, you can go deep zone. If he happens to like max protect, he's going to have time, surely. So you can do that. Here we force a disengage. We actually get 3 guys free. No idea what Carlton Davis is doing there, but he's doing his own thing. Here you see it. We get this guy off the left, I want to say. Murphy Bunting, we get the D end, and I think we might have got Ross Cockrell, though, over on the right side. So we actually get 3 people free. You rush 5 against 5, you get 3 people free. So you can really make your choice. This is similar to the pinch 2 blitz, only you have 2 slot corners and rather than a linebacker. So make your pick. All these blitzes work really well that I showed in this video. If you guys enjoyed, drop a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel down below. Let me know which one to see next, ebook-wise, offensively, defensively. And peace. I'm out of here.